morning. It's 8 o'clock in the Netherlands, and I wanted to come on and tell you a little bit more about myself. As you know, I already explained that I'm 64, going on early retirement. In Holland, normally you're 67 and 7 months when you go on retirement, but we have decided to go early and moving to France. Uh, but I want to tell you a little bit more about myself. Way back when I was 17, I got pregnant with my first daughter, my eldest daughter. And I was a single mother. And looking back and comparing it to now, it was quite different. Back then, you were frowned upon if you were pregnant and a single mother. It was a hard time. I was just 18 when she was born, and of course I loved her so much right away. But I didn't finish my school, and that bothered me. So when she was a bit older, I started my first education. I studied to become a specialized nurse for people with, how you call it in English, that are mentally challenged. And I worked on different groups with people with different levels of IQ, but mostly their socially and emotionally development was much lower than their IQ, and they were often physically handicapped as well. And it gave me a whole lot of joy to work with and for these people. It still does. After that, I wanted to study some more. So there was a different kind of study. Let's call it social worker. And that gave me more insight in what goes on in people's lives, how I could guide them and help them and be there for them. As I always say, in a working day, if people go to bed at night and they're happy and satisfied and they had a good day, that's like a golden drop. It gives me pleasure. What I also did was, at one moment there was like a job opening to become a crisis foster parent, meaning that I would live in a house from my work 24/7, and in that house there was space for 5 children between the ages of 0 until 18. And it was a crisis house, so nobody knew that the children were there, the families and everything. And most of the time the children were placed in the evening. And you have to imagine that I would get a call, and then with very little information about the child, hardly any information about their backgrounds, what they've been through, that always came later. So there would be a small child, often in their pajamas, if they were lucky with a cuddly toy, and I did that for 6 years. And in those 6 years, I had about 100 children. And sometimes there were moments that it was tough, being by myself and having 5 scarred children in the house because they've been through all kinds of abuse, which of course I'm not going to uh, talk about too much, but you can imagine how that was. And, you know, thinking about how I was there for them, I gave them structure in their day. They went to school right away, mostly the next day. They had their room, they had food, they had toys to play with, they had my undivided attention. And I always try to bring a little bit of a normal life for them, always realizing that it wasn't normal at all. Because I always feel that a child is better off with their own parents. But when they're in danger in their development, of course, something has to be done. And looking back at that, thinking, okay, always being a social worker, you want to give advice to people. But now that I'm 64, I realize what really helped them and the other people I work with. It helped them to be there, just to be there, to listen, to put an arm around somebody. That there's a few children that still reach out to me and thank me and saying, Marion, because of you, I could go on in life. Many of them are adults already, and I think it's so special, and it feels so good to hear that and to follow them on Facebook and see that they're doing all right. They have their struggles in life, but they're doing okay. So it feels like a big blessing to me that I was able to do that in my working life. And also, I worked on groups as a social worker, taking care of people, being there for them. I was a team leader, always trying to be there for the people I work with. And yeah, now it's coming to an end. And am I going to miss it? I think, yes. I think I'm going to miss it. And my whole life, it, of course, it's going to change because what am I doing? I'm going to stop working in May, but I'm moving to France. Different pace of life. I'm in the middle of getting rid of things, as I said before already. And now I'm busy with all the paperwork. What do you need? Health insurance. I'm going to make a video about that. What to do as a European citizen, but also for English and American citizens. Which steps to take. And the paper mill in France goes slowly. You have to be very patient, very, very patient, but that's okay. I'll have time to be very patient. And of course, I'm going to be irritated if it takes too long because here in Holland, things move rather quick if you compare it to France. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking around the house here, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, this is going to go, and we're going to build our lives in France. I'm looking forward to it, but also I have a thought, am I being selfish? Leaving family behind, leaving friends behind, and but then in my mind, I hear my daughter say, Mom, Do what makes you happy. You took care of people for so long. Put yourself in the first place. So thank you. Thank you, my eldest, for telling me that over and over again. So I shouldn't doubt myself. I think having doubts about the whole process, it goes with it, with the whole situation. And I'm just going to go through it. And I don't have doubts to go, but I have those moments because you will understand. But that's it for now. I just want to tell you a little bit more about myself. And I see you in the next video. Bye. Have a great day.